Hi all, a warm hello from Asquare Technologies. We would like to highlight the importance of soft skills through this session. We have a set of well-aligned soft skills development pattern that could help BI aspirants out there. Soft skills are interpersonal attributes you need to succeed in the workplace. Soft skills are a combination of personality traits, behaviors, and social attitudes that allow people to communicate effectively, collaborate, and successfully manage conflict. 75% of long-term success comes down to soft skills mastery. The workers with soft skills trainings are 12% more productive than those without them. Soft skills can be considered as a combination of self-confidence, listening, team spirit, communication, personality, and punctuality. We offer resume building assistance, mock interview sessions, and communication guidelines as a part of our soft skills program, which comes along with our courses. To summarize business intelligence involves analyzing data sets and software programs in order to help a company make better business decisions. It is a technology driven process. So people who work in BI need a number of hard skills such as computer programming and database familiarity. However, they also need soft skills, including interpersonal skills, which is why we consider this as an important part of our courses. While someone working in business intelligence requires a number of hard skills, communication is a critical soft skill. It involves describing complex technical information to non BI professionals. Therefore, people in business intelligence need to be able to communicate clearly and effectively. Some are PowerPoint presentations, leadership, group presentations, secure information collection, presenting graphical data, group discussion, writing summaries, etc. These are all the different sectors that you come across while working in BI sectors, which requires a good communication skill. Also, a good communication skill and an interpersonal skill is required when it comes to problem solving. Not only does someone in BI need to be able to analyze data, but they are typically also expected to offer solutions to executives based on that data. Therefore, a BI employee needs to come up with clear suggestions or solutions to help the company make better business decisions. So it involves identifying and prioritizing problem areas, determining factors that contribute to problems, weighing alternative solutions, assessing stakeholder perceptions regarding the problems, estimating costs for interventions, proposing solutions, persuading others to adopt solutions, creativity, decision making, research, project management, and leading brainstorming sessions. So segment, for our first segment, we offer a resume building training. Towards the end of our course, towards the completion of our course, once you have mastered all our tools, we'll be training you how to present your resume, because obviously being a BI aspirant, when you're ready to work in a business as a business analyst, your resume needs to reflect that. So it cannot be like any other resume. It needs to have certain keywords. It needs to have a business font. It needs to have certain properties. We train you to achieve all those. A few steps to mention are: add the most relevant skills to your skills that you own to your resume. Like it should consist of keywords that correspond to the skills related to BI, especially those key skills that are highlighted in the job description for your target position. For example, if you are applying for a company's position as a business analyst, then you should thoroughly check the job description, and you should include all the keywords which are described in the job description. You should copy them and you should present them in your own resume. Your statements needs to be layered in order of relevancy to the priority qualifications of your target job. Also, remember to incorporate phrases with skill words like analyzed, calculated, and programmed into your resume. Coming to your cover letter, it needs a highlight of your skills. Include statements in your cover letter that portrays key analytical skills you have executed in various roles. the more keywords your resume can match to the ATS system. That is very, very important because several employers utilize automated applicant tracking systems, also known as ATS, to scan the candidate resumes. Therefore, a computer scans the program. It scans your resume before it is selected for review by human eyes. So there are job specific versus transferable skills which need to be mentioned on your resume. Job specific skills are those abilities that a candidate has for employment to succeed in a particular job. Some skills are attained by attending school or training programs, or sometimes in the real life scenario, like once you're doing a real time project, or once you're closely working with the company's projects and all, you'll learn certain job specific skills. Then comes the transferable skills. You should prioritize the job specific skills and the transferable skills. Also, like I said before, you need to incorporate all the job description, the skills mentioned in your job description into your resume. Now, the transferable skills consist of communication, organization, presentation, teamwork, planning, and time management, which are required in a broad array of jobs. It can be transferred from job to job, but not this job specific one. Also, you should keep in your mind a very important point. Not every skill should be included in your resume. For example, your paper plane making qualities or anything like that need not be mentioned on your resume. Now, we offer mock interview sessions in which we ask our participants, like we ask our trainees, we ask them all the important questions, updated BI questions, and we prompt them to answer in a certain way. We give them a few sessions so that they get comfortable in answering all those questions in a tight. We try to put them at a tight spot in order to eliminate the scare. In order to eliminate as I was saying, in order to eliminate stress related scare. So we give them all kinds of training. We conduct several mock interview sessions. We ask them all BI related relevant questions, which are relevant in the present case, like in the present scenario. And once you prepare for your interviews, you should make a list of core analytical skills that are best equipped to excel in your target job. And do not hesitate to share examples of how you have applied these skills to generate a positive result in the past. Describe the situations, tell a small story about it, the actions you took, emphasizing the skills you applied and the result of your interventions. If you are a beginner, try explaining the projects which you have done. Try explaining the process of doing the project, like how you have tackled all the difficulties or how you have tackled any kind of errors and everything. Try to do that. Now, there is an important segment when it comes to interviews. You should be able to handle behavioral interviews. You should familiarize yourself with common behavioral interview questions. You should research the company to learn as much as possible about their goals and needs. You need to spend time on it. Before you go for an interview, try and set a separate time, schedule a time in order to learn more about the company, in order to learn their activities, their goals, their targets, their needs, etc., so that you'll be able to answer all their questions. Use the STAR interview technique to prepare examples to share during the interview. STAR stands for a specific situation, T, the tasks that needed to be done, A, the action you took, and R, the results of what happened. Again, finally, you should follow up after the interview. Also remember, there are no right or wrong answers to behavioral interview questions. Here are a few BI related questions we present to our trainees during our interview sessions, mock interview sessions. First question, describe fact and dimension tables. Obviously, if you are a BI aspirant, you know that knowledge about a fact and dimension table is really important once you start studying BI. And it is a really important concept in BI. A fact table contains dimension keys and numerical values for some measures. Each dimension key represents a dimension that measures are 4. Or in simple words, a fact table consists of values or keys, dimension keys or numerical values that are computable or on which aggregate functions can be performed, and dimensions are simply descriptive of a dim. Like it is dimension simply describes an element. What are the steps to implement company BI analytics from the ground up? To build a company analytical data storage like data warehouse, data mart, etc., devise an analytical data storage schema based on both actual company data and BI demands. Initially, populate analytical data storage with existing company data and then update it regularly. Set up BI tools on top of analytical data storage. Develop BI reports. Maintain and modify BI reports according to changing needs. Now, the most important question: what are the star and snowflake schemas? Snowflake schemas. Star schema consists of dimension and fact table, in which a single fact table is surrounded by several dimensions. It forms the shape of a star. It is the most widely used and most convenient form of data model while it comes to data visualization on a Power BI tool. And Snowflake schema is an extension of star schema. Like the dimension tables will outbranch. A single sales fact surrounded by dimensions which outbranches, which connects to different other dimensions as well. Now, there are several questions we come across while we do mock interviews. Let me just quickly explain a few questions like which language is used in Power Query? A new programming language known as M code is used in Power Query. Then we see what are the different types of data in DAX. You should be familiar with that. Those are numeric, Boolean, datetime, string, and decimal. Now, what type of data types are available in Power BI? Important data sources used in Power BI are file, database, Power BI, Azure, online services, and other. Again, we come across a few questions relating to the visualizations provided by Power BI as well. And finally, we move on to communication guidelines. The ability to communicate effectively with superiors and colleagues or staff is essential no matter what industry you work in. Workers in the digital age must know how to effectively convey and receive messages in person as well as via phone, email, and social media. So, these are the different factors you should be having before you become a good before you become good at communication. First and foremost is listening. Being a good listener is one of the best ways to be a good communicator. No one likes communicating with someone who cares only about putting in her 2 cents and does not take time to listen to the other person. If you're not a good listener, it is going to be hard to comprehend what you have been asked to do. Active listening is really important. You should practice active listening. Feedback. Being able to give and receive feedback appropriately is an important communication skill. Managers and supervisors should continuously look for ways to provide employees with constructive feedback. Giving feedback involves giving praise as well. Also, giving feedback involves being able to accept and even encourage feedback from others. Now, another important communication skill is to simply know what form of communication to use or picking the right medium. For example, some serious conversations are almost always best done in person. Also, you should think about the person whom you are trying to communicate to. If it's a boss or someone at a higher hierarchy in your office, you should always consider emailing them before going in person. Being such a busybody, they'll not be able to spend time in person to you. So they'll always remember your thoughtful actions if you do that. Non-verbal communication is another important aspect when it comes to communication skills. Your body language, eye contact, hand gestures, and tone of voice all color the message you are trying to convey. A related open stance, like arms open, legs relaxed. Do not cross your arms while you're speaking with your superiors or your colleagues. It simply crossing your arms simply means that you are not ready to receive a feedback, or you're not ready to accept anything that the other person is trying to tell you or modify you, or give. If the person opposite to you is trying to give you a suggestion, you're standing with your arms crossed and listening, that doesn't mean that you're actively listening. That just means that you're not ready to accept whatever he is putting forward. That is not a favored position in offices. So a relaxed, open stance and a friendly tone will make you appear approachable and will encourage others to speak openly with you. Eye contact is also important. You need to look at the person in his eye to demonstrate that you are focused on them and the conversation. Do not stare. You should always remember, do not stare at the person. Also, pay attention to other people's nonverbal signs while you're talking. Often, nonverbal cues convey how a person is really feeling. For example, if the person is tired, if he's not interested in talking to you, or if he's lying, he'll not be looking in your eye if he or she is uncomfortable or hiding the truth. Again, clarity and concision is also important. It means saying just enough. Do not talk too much or too little. Just convey your message properly in as few words as possible. Think about what you say, what you want to say before you say it. Do not ramble on. It should be clear. Okay. The next one is friendliness. Through a friendly tone, a personal question, or a simple smile, you'll encourage your coworkers to engage in an open and honest communication with you. It is important to be polite as well at the workplace. See, the importance of friendliness is if your colleagues or if a staff who is working under you or your project mates, if they are facing some kind of crisis at the project they are doing, they'll not be able to tell you openly if you do not portray a friendliness in your stature. See, it is important to both face-to-face and written communication. When you can, you should always personalize your emails to coworkers or employees. A quick, I hope you all had a good weekend, or I hope this mail finds you at the peak of your day or something like that, will always make the recipient feel more appreciated. The next is confident. It is important to be confident in your interactions with others. Confidence shows your coworkers that you believe in what you're saying and it will motivate them to follow through with it. Okay. Next, and the last one and the most important one is being empathetic. Using phrases such as, I understand where you are coming from, I can totally understand what you are trying to say, etc., demonstrate that you have been listening to the other person and you respect their opinions. So active listening is extremely important in case of displaying empathetic emotions. All right. So that's all a brief summary of what we are planning to do on our soft skills training sessions. Thank you.